Guys, it's Lucy and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is very important. I'm going to be discussing some of the top legislative priorities that Governor Ron DeSantis has passed over the several months during this year's legislative session. Some of these laws will go into effect starting July 1st, and I think it's very important that we as Floridians understand and know its impact. Let's jump right into it. And as a note, Governor Ron DeSantis did sign over 150 bills, like I mentioned earlier, that will go into effect starting July 1st. But I'm only going to talk about a couple that I think relates to real estate here in Central Florida. But I will put it in the description where you can find the link to find out the rest of the bills that are also going to go into effect. And we are still keeping a tab on other things that he may still sign or veto in the following weeks. Okay, so let's jump right into on our very first bill. This is House Bill 1203. This pertains to HOA fine limits and transparency. So basically, this bill states that the HOAs can no longer fine residents for leaving out trash cans within 24 hours before or after the collection date or time, or for leaving holiday decorations up for longer than indicated in governing documents unless the decorations are left up for more than 1 week after a written notice is issued. I know from our community, I have seen this time and time again with the holiday decorations. People get really upset when they have to immediately take down Christmas decor. I don't know what it is. People get really upset. They want to keep it up to probably after the New Year's, and HOAs don't like that. So some are more lenient than others, but giving homeowners some more time to put away their decor. The HOA fine violation for the trash can, it's actually more common than you think. I actually had a closing, almost had a delay, because while the sellers were moving out of the property, trash was being picked up, and they had left the trash cans out longer than 24 hours because they were in the middle of moving and they had pods and all these things. And HOA actually wrote them a violation for not putting their trash can away right away, and it was out for more than 24 hours. And we almost could not close on the house until somebody from the board came back out and visually saw that the trash can was no longer in sight, and it was removed from the property and it was put back where it's supposed to be, for us to close out that violation and close on the house the next day. I literally almost had to delay in closing just because the trash can was left out for more than 24 hours. It's insane. So I'm glad to see that there's some type of leniency for trash cans and these decorations, because it's such a petty thing, and some HOAs like to really be watching you. So, and when they watch you and they catch you, they will issue that warning, and it could lead to some fines and implications for you for sure. Part of that bill, another thing is HOAs cannot ban residents from parking personal vehicles, including a pickup truck or work vehicles, that aren't commercial vehicles on the property. It also amends part of the law pertaining to parking law enforcement vehicles on the property to include any assigned first responder vehicle. So this one's interesting because I've had communities, just even here around the Champions Gate area, where the HOA says you cannot live or own this townhome if your pickup truck is bigger than whatever feet they have determined. So some people couldn't even purchase, or they didn't know until after the fact, and they had a pickup truck that was a little longer by just a couple of centimeters, and they could not park their car on the driveway. So this is good. I'm glad about this new rule going into effect. So again, HOAs cannot ban residents from parking personal vehicles, including a pickup truck. It doesn't say the width or how long it is. So it just says that you can no longer say, the pickup truck has to be within this amount from the curb or whatever, or you cannot park on the driveway, because based on this rule, it's saying that you cannot ban residents from parking personal vehicles, including a pickup truck, in their own driveway. So this is good. This is awesome. Also, the association would not be allowed to set requirements or rules for the inside of a home for things that are not visible from the outside or from a neighboring home. Interesting. Oh, maybe the association will not be allowed to set requirements or rules for the inside of the home that are things that are not visible. Okay, that makes sense. So not visible. That's kind of the key term here, because I have seen people talk about, the HOA gave them a fine or give them a trouble if they put certain signs or certain flags inside the window, inside of a home that you can see on the outside of the home. Some people some communities that don't allow certain flags to be flown outside, people don't like that, and they put the flag inside the house up against the window, and you can still see it from the inside. And I can see how that has made some people uncomfortable, and so that makes sense why they're now saying that HOAs would not be allowed to set these requirements from the inside of the home that are not visible. So you can do whatever you want. Even if I knew the flag was inside the house, I couldn't say anything because it's no longer visible to the street. It's basically how I'm taking that. Okay, another one. This is a good one. HOAs with more than 100 parcels, which means you have 100 homes in that community, would have to post online any articles of incorporation, recorded bylaws, declaration of convents, current rules, annual budgets, or other documents by January 1st of 2025. Yes! Thank God. Hallelujah. We need this. It's like pulling teeth to get HOA communities to email me the bylaws. As a realtor, if I'm representing a buyer and it's my due diligence to get those bylaws to them so they can review it, blah, blah, blah. It's like pulling teeth from these associations for them to provide it to me. I have had pushback. I've had some communities will tell me where on the website, or they'll just email it to me. So it's a hit and miss depending on which community it is. So what I've done in the past, I would ask the listing agent that represents the seller to ask the seller to go into their portal and grab those documents and then provide to the buyer, because that was always the easiest. They had never got pushback, and there's normally no fee to it. Some communities will say just order the estoppel, which is hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which is also in the middle of the buying process. And what if I don't want to go through the entire, almost to the end of the buying process to find out this HOA rule violates what I believe in, or I don't want to live there, right? So I should have the right during the very beginning of my due diligence period to review these bylaws up front. So I think that's a very good new law that's being passed by the HOA. So they have to provide documents online, so it's easily accessible for clients to review documents prior to even purchasing in the community or even going under contract. This is a win-win for the buyers and the sellers, because I think it would make the listing agent's job a little easier, that they don't have to bother the seller to get this information anymore. They can just go online and provide it and attach it to the MLS. Or for me as a buyer's agent, I can go into the MLS and see it all there. So that's great. Another good bill is this one. Senate Bill 7028. This is the More Money for My Safe Florida Home program. So Governor DeSantis signed a bill that gives $200 million to the My Safe Florida Home program. This program here in Florida helps homeowners with upgrading their homes for better protections from hurricanes. And this program actually ran out of money last year, so this is a very popular program. If you're a homeowner, definitely look into this. It's a great grant to get into to see if you may qualify and to upgrade your home. There are some priorities, so I'll kind of talk about that here as well. So applicants can get a free home inspection to identify ways to improve their houses for hurricane season. That's the first step. Once you applied, the homeowners can apply for the grant of up to $10,000 to upgrade windows, exterior doors, garage doors, and strengthening the roofs, which is awesome. Again, this application portal will reopen on July 1st with priorities, and this is the priority given to low-income seniors and those who have previously applied to the program before it ran. So if you're You know anybody that's low income senior that could use some brand new windows in their home before, during this hurricane season, definitely let them know the program is back and it has funds. Or if you're interested in this program, definitely check out my description and I'm going to insert some more information about this program. Next is House Bill 621. This is in regards to squatters. Squatter has been a very national topic for some reason. I've actually never had a squatter in any of my homes, knock on wood, because that seems like the worst nightmare ever for any homeowner. But let's kind of talk about the House bill and what exactly it means. So, starting July 1st, Floridians will be allowed to call a sheriff to remove a squatter from one of their properties, as long as the following conditions are met. The individual unlawfully entered and remained on the property. Okay. The individual was directed to leave the property but hasn't. Okay. The individual is not a current or former tenant in a legal dispute. Okay. Owners could face penalty if those conditions are not met. That part I did not see in the news when they were talking about this big squatter bill. Interesting. An attorney said that if a squatter claims they had a valid lease agreement, the sheriff won't do anything until a court rules that the agreement is not valid. Okay. Interesting. This bill also creates penalties for squatters and for people who teach squatting. I don't know if you saw some of those content creators on TikTok where they were teaching people how to squat homes. It's horrible. Get into these leases, and then once your lease is up, they stop paying rent and then just never left. It's horrible. So good that Florida's cracking down on squatters and penalizing squatters and people who teach squatting, because that is not your home and you're ruining someone's asset and you don't know what situation they're in. Don't try to take advantage of someone because they're a landlord. And I've read stories where it totally financially ruins someone because they got a squatter in their home. And it's a very sad situation for all parties involved. But yes, so those are the 3 bills I thought were very notable to talk about. There are more. There's also a list that also... there are still several other bills passed in the legislative session that are still awaiting action from the governor. Those bills, if signed, then it'll be added to the list that's going to go into effect starting July 1st. There's a couple on here that I'm still watching to see what happens, like House Bill 59. This deals with provisions of a homeowner association rules and convent. I'm looking at Senate Bill 304, Household Moving Services. House Bill 429 deals with real property. House Bill 481, Building Construction Regulations and System Warranties. House Bill 487, Lost and Abandoned Property. That's something else I'm watching for. There's also a lot of things like House Bill 613, Mobile Home Park Lot Tendencies, House Bill 621, Property Rights, House Bill 623, Builder Warranties. There's been some issues there with builder warranties here in Florida. So there's quite a bit of other ones that I am watching. Okay, there's a couple dealing with condos associations, of course. There's always something going on with our Florida condo associations and how to better protect homeowners and those crazy, crazy monthly fees. And there is House Bill 1161. This is a verification for eligibility for homestead exemption. I'm hoping they do give some more tax incentives for homeowners because property taxes have gone through the roof for us Floridians as well. So there's a couple more that I am keeping an eye on. There's Citizen Property Insurance Corporation that deals with home insurance here in Florida. So I will keep an eye out for a couple more of these properties. And then I will update you as I see them. Thank you for watching today's video, And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, call me, text me, whatever suits you. I'm always here for you, and thank you for watching.